respond to why the index has remained low, because reports have it that the HDI has increased 22% in 19 years, but it still remains low at 0.548. Why is that so?
So like Dr. Ahmed mentioned, if you look at the Human Capital Development Index, it's a very long-term program with very long-term results framework. And if you look at what the immediate past NEC has done, because this is a National Economic Council program where NEC tries to play advocacy to prioritize human capital development and allocate more resources. For me, when I look at based on what I see on ground, I think even having a holistic strategy like this one that the immediate past NEC has done, you know, where you're trying to convene, advocate, and call to attention policymakers to look at it together from fetus actually, not even childbirth. In fact, someone at the workshop, the focal point from Nasara says to her, it even starts from the parents and you know how aligned they are, down to the survival of the mother and child, to a human being accessing quality education, and then being able to, and healthcare, and then being able to participate, you know, positively and productively in the labor force. You look at that, you give it maybe like 50 years, up to retirement age, but I mean human capital goes even to elderly care. So I personally think it's a results framework, and when you look at the last 8 years, the government has done a great job in charting out a strategy, at least that acts as a framework for...
But do you think the policies of government have been targeted at improving this human capital development
yes,
index?
When you look at it, policy, yes, but the challenge remains the implementation. Fully to be able to push us to be globally competitive. And when you look at, that's why when we did the workshop, we put together stakeholders, and what we're trying to do is push from strategy to action, and in an empowered way, because it happens at the grassroots, and that's why, you know, it's a NEC program, because the states as well, and then convening. So when you look at the last 19 years, because of the results framework, you know, I think mobilizing for action would help to improve the...
Outside mobilizing for action, a lot of people who have looked at the index of Nigeria in terms of human capital development would say that it's basically on the policies of government. Away from the federal government now, let's look at the subnationals. We see governments that are focused on building airports, governments that are focused on building stadiums, and not, you know, caring about primary healthcare development, for example, not caring about, you know, how pregnant mothers, you know, are taken care of and all of that. So that's why I would ask again.
Yes.
Away from the federal government, looking at the subnationals now, because it's not just about the federal government alone. So would you say that government understands what, you know, what human capital development is all about and incorporating it in their policies?
Absolutely. If you look at even the launch of the steering committee, you'll see overwhelming support. The governors stand up, and you look at how they're trying to prioritize, but the challenges still remain with the fiscal buoyancy to be able to implement some of these programs. And like you rightly said, you know, human capital, the gains are not very tangible and immediate, like an airport or even the school facility. And that's why this Human Capital Development Index goes beyond pushing just making available the healthcare facility or the school to actually pass rates, quality of teachers, and, you know, even healthcare outcomes, life saved and